Do we have an intro?
No intro.
Bum 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 bum.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that, the professional organization that we are here at YSN, we do not have an intro today. So, welcome into a Monday edition of YSN Live. Getting off to a strong start, are we? Here on the 8th of December, right? Yes,
Yes.
8th of December, 2025. DJ Yoakley with you alongside the 8-time best-selling author, Grammy, Emmy Award-winning world traveler, Nobel Peace Prize nominee. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Anthony Ronald Hartwig. And as always, on these beautiful Mondays, we bring in the professor, one of the best writers of all time. He makes Mark Twain blush and roll over in his grave. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one, the only, Mr. Greg McAfee. What's up, guys?
How we doing?
Well, we're okay right now. Missed the intro, so we suck. It's so bad.
Welcome to Monday. Hey, the outro's up, so we'll have an outro.
Thanks. You guys were having a dynamite conversation before we started, which is
That's what. Yeah.
which is why we're pushed back a little bit. But hey, I wasn't going to stop you. I was going to let that roll because you guys were both excited about obviously what happened in the fall, what's going on in the winter.
Yep.
And who the hell am I to tell you guys to stop talking because the people want to see YSN Live. Excited for this, guys. The superlatives continue to come out here for the football season that was. And Greg, it's great that you're here. We love having you on Mondays. But let's talk some more football from this standpoint. You look at what has transpired today. We released the Coach of the Year and the Underdogs of the Year. Let's start with the Coach of the Year. And to me, there's a lot of coaches. Anthony, you and I talked about it. We could have gone a lot of different ways, but this is the right fit, I feel. Your Coach of the Year, all YSN coach, is Frank Colaprete from Cardinal Mooney. When you think about Cardinal Mooney, obviously there's a stigma. There's a feeling that people get when they talk about Cardinal Mooney, whether it's one side of the spectrum or the other. But Cardinal Mooney has always garnered attention across the way, no matter who their head coach was. But lately, Mooney has had their struggles. They've had their concerns. You bring in an alum in Frank Colaprete, and in his first year, they win a regional championship. That, to me, is impressive. It's exciting, not only of what has been, what they've overcome, but what is to come for Cardinal Mooney based on what they have coming back. Greg, we'll start with you. Why is this the right choice for you?
Yeah, I think you just saw what they did this year. Especially with all the injuries they faced throughout the middle of the season, especially because of the struggles they've had in recent years. They were able to turn everything around. This obviously talented senior class was pretty motivated to, leave their mark on the program. And, Frank Colaprete comes in his first year at the head of the program, and he turns things around, leads them to a regional championship. And just all the adversity they faced in regional or in years past, and they're able to have a successful season, especially after those two losses earlier in the year. I think they started 1-3, 2-2, or something like that, or 1-2, 2-2. And to be able to kind of run the table to a regional championship was huge, especially with all the teams they beat. Obviously lost to two pretty talented teams in Canfield and Steubenville, but they're able to win a regional title with a win over Girard, who seemed pretty much unstoppable all year long. And it just kind of showed what they were able to do this year. Highly successful season for the Cardinals. They're back on the map, led by a talented senior class, but Frank Colaprete really came in and turned it around for the Cardinals.
Anthony, you and I talked. There's a lot of guys, a lot of gentlemen that could have taken this award home from the all YSN category. We had a lot of great coaching this year across the board. Why is Frank Colaprete to you the deserving person of this, not only nomination, but this victory?
I think the biggest factor is his first season. And it's not like he took a team that won a state championship last year and you knew he had everything he needed in the toy box. This is a team that last year kind of struggled. They got to the playoffs. They lost early in the playoffs. So this wasn't a team that everyone expected to go to state all of a sudden because of what they had. This is a team that had to answer some questions, and they had questions early, like Greg said, some early struggles in the season. and they found a culture. They found something that worked, and they ran with it. I mean, that's coaching. A lot of credit goes to coaching, not just Calipari, but his staff, on building a culture, having the kids buy into it, and then having it stay consistently throughout the season, and then a long tournament, a long playoff run as well. So that's impressive. I don't think people understand how hard that is in your first year to grab a culture, have everyone buy into it, and then have that happen consistently throughout a very tough football season in the first season as a head coach. It's not easy, and he did it. His coaching staff did it. They deserve a lot of credit. I think this is he gets the name on the plaque, but this is like a coaching staff of the year almost, because his staff is incredible at Mooney, and he's got good guys behind him too.
I agree. I mean, if you watch the Mooney games all year, it takes you back to the old school Coach Butchie, no doubt. I mean, it brought a lot of kind of those memories back for a lot of those players that played under Coach Butchie. And I think you hit the nail on the head in your first year, and especially at a school like Cardinal Mooney, where there are a lot of expectations already and everything going on across town. There were even further expectations, if you asked me, for what was Mooney going to do, with Ursula not having a season. So all of that considered, you look at what Coach Calipari did, and it's almost surreal. And I hate using that word because it makes it feel like it's put even further on a pedestal. But you look at what they went through, what they've gone through, and okay, this is just, we're going to change out the figurehead at the top, and it's going to be the same old trotting out. It was a different from the second that Frank took over. Coach Calipari certainly set the expectation. Had a lot of the same guys, and to both of your points, was able to accomplish a lot more to kind of squeeze the juice out of that lemon a little bit as you move forward into a season. And I think Mooney's back, and I think it's a big deal that Mooney's back from a football standpoint, because we've always talked about, no matter how you feel about parochial versus public, whenever some of those hard and fast schools are good, football in this area is better no matter what. So I'm excited to see what the future holds, not only for Coach Calipari, but this Mooney football team and this program, because I think they're only going to get better from here, which is a scary thought for a lot of teams, especially if they stay in Division 5, which is loaded with talent across the board. South Range, Girard, Liberty, Poland. I mean, there's a lot of those teams, Garfield, that are going to be sitting there encircling Cardinal Mooney, which I'm interested, because some of those teams have them on the schedule in the regular season. Will that change? That's a question that remains to be seen. But congratulations to Frank Calipari, the YSN Coach of the Year for Cardinal Mooney. And we move on to the Underdogs of the Year. These are a co-winner category for us. We try to stay away from co-winners as much as we possibly can, but sometimes you just can't. And here's the thing. We did away with Freshman of the Year basically because it's not fair from a standpoint of Division 2 through 7, because there's going to be a lot more winners at the Division 7 level than there are at the Division 2. So we changed it to Underdog of the Year, and, well, we still had the same situation. We had a Division 6 winner and Division 7 winner.
So it didn't change anything.
It didn't really change anything, just the name. But I like the Underdog of the Year because what it does to why I love this award, and I think it'll stay for a long, long time. It might even cross over into other sports, is that there's a lot of players in our area that don't get a whole lot of chatter, or they don't get a whole lot of spotlight because they are a smaller school, because they're a lineman, or because they don't necessarily have the stats, but they embody the program that was in that particular season. And two guys that I have to say, it was absolute slam dunk for me. First one, your co-underdog of the year is Preston Holbrook from Mineral Ridge. And you look at this guy, not only did he make his way back to the gridiron this year, but he was able to do it not only in style, but with the grace and the intensity of his head coach, Andy Hake, who loves this guy. They call him Buzz Holbrook, and he was a guy that got it done on both sides of the football. He loves the team. team first guy. He's gone through adversity in his personal life, and he takes that out on everybody else on Friday nights. I love Preston Holbrook. I think he embodies what Mineral Ridge was able to do this year. And people will sit there and talk about, okay, they didn't win the MVAC. No, but you look at what the track they're on and the amount of guys that are in that program, and Preston Holbrook is a big reason for that. There are kids that look up to him in the Mineral Ridge community. I've seen it firsthand over at the Post Office Pub. He's a great conversationalist. His family is very appreciative of where he is in his excuse me, that sucked. In his walk with becoming a leader in that community. And I think awarding him with one of the underdogs of the year is well deserved. And I think when you think about Ridge's year, Greg, a guy like Preston Holbrook is a big reason why they were who they were this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it right on the head. When we're talking about guys who embody the program's culture, the program's mentality, Preston Holbrook is one of them. I didn't get to see him live this year, but I've seen plenty of highlights from Mineral Ridge throughout the course of the season. And when you talk, when you talk about Andy Hake's just mentality to run the ball this year and to line up and be physical, I mean, Preston Holbrook is one of those guys. I mean, he was the one that led the charge on the offensive and defensive sides. I'm pretty sure he played with a club on one of his hands this year because he was battling through injury. He had a bunch of huge plays, just a huge guy. And I mean, he was at he dotted the I in the gorilla package this year. He's physical, a lot of huge runs, a lot of physical, just seeks out contact. And he's just one of those guys that deserves this type of award. Just a great player on the field this year and really embodied what Mineral Ridge was all about.
Ronnie, when you think about Mineral Ridge football, you can't start without 44, can you?
No, you can't. And I think when you talk embodying the program, I think that if there was a team underdog of the year, it might go to Mineral Ridge too. They always felt like that team that was left out of the conversation. No one really gave them a second thought maybe they wouldn't have been in the conversation for that MVAC. And there we are at the end of the season. They had a chance to go and win it. Now they didn't. McDonald gave them a good game, and McDonald came out on top. But at the same time, like Mineral Ridge was in that conversation of they could win the MVAC. And I think if you ask a lot of people before the season started if that would be happening, especially people outside the program, they'd be like, maybe not this year, maybe a couple years. They're a couple years away. Not so fast, my friend. Mineral Ridge was the underdogs all year, and Preston Holbrook definitely earns this as the player underdog of the year, in my opinion.
And then the other co-underdog of the year. This one was an easy. Again, another slam dunk for me. When you're talking about EOAC football, you're talking about a conference that doesn't get a whole lot of the shine. We talk about the NE8 a lot. We talk about the MVAC. We talk about Hoban. We talk about Ursuline, Mooney. We talk about all these different schools and programs and conferences. East Palestine is back for the first time in program history. The East Palestine Bulldogs went back-to-back playoff appearances. And the big reason why, to me, this guy right here, your co-underdog of the year, sophomore Clark Rutledge, who, guys, looking at the stats, ran for over 700 yards. And the majority of those yardage points came in the first portion of the season. They kind of slowed him off to keep him healthy. He also passed for 2,000 yards right on the button. So when you think about a quarterback that can do it with his legs, with his arm, we talk about dual threats all the time. It's been a while since East Palestine has had a dual threat like Clark Rutledge. He wears the number one. He trains like the number one because he wants to be number one. And certainly when you're talking about this young man, his determination, his skill set is only going to go up from here as a sophomore going into his junior year. And he's got a lot of hoops to play before that. So Clark Rutledge, your co-underdog of – that is very hard to say, by the way. So we might have so co-underdog of the year, the sophomore quarterback, Clark Rutledge from East Palestine. Greg, I know you fell in love and you were enchanted with the way that this young man plays all season long. What caught your eye about Clark?
I mean, you talk about it from the beginning of the season to the end, he was dominant. And this is a player where, we obviously got to talk to the East Palestine coach earlier in the year for zone coverage. And we talked to him about how the offense kind of morphed. Like, they were coming into the year. It was a situation where they thought the running back Zach Sench was going to get a bunch of carries and kind of be the guy. And
Zach
then
Schnell,
they
yep.
saw Zach Schnell, sorry,
Okay.
and be the guy. And then they saw what Clark was able to do early on, all the targets he had on the outside, and he really kind of switched up the offense and really switched it to a different style because of what he's able to do in the pocket and with his legs. And when you have that type of confidence in a quarterback as a sophomore, that's huge. And Clark Rutledge took it all in stride, and he kind of carried East Palestine throughout the course of the year with what he was able to do. Obviously leads them to a Western Reserve or a playoff win over Western Reserve. I talked to him after the game, and it was, as a sophomore quarterback, you might see a guy that kind of shies away from the moment. He wanted the ball late in that game, and he delivered on a late touchdown run and then a 2-point conversion to win the game. And you just don't see that a lot from a sophomore quarterback. And he really strived to succeed this year. Great kid, great mind. I can't wait to see what he does the rest of his high school career, but definitely deserving of this type of award.
Ronnie, one of only 2 quarterbacks in East Palestine history to pass for 2,000 yards or more, the other being Parker Sherry, his mentor, his role model, and a guy that he still reviews film with each and every week and takes notes. For you, when you think of Clark Rutledge and what he was able to accomplish this year, what stands out to you about number one?
Well, I think it's the shoes he had to fill, because you said it, back-to-back playoff appearances last year. What Owini actually did as a senior, when a guy like that graduates and then you look at the next year, you're like sophomore quarterback. I think there's a lot of people that go, oh, here we go. We have to develop this kid as a sophomore. And that's a big shadow to fit into when you're thinking about, like, hey, we just went to the playoffs for last year was the second time in program history that they went to the playoffs. What do we do now that we graduated our quarterback that meant so much to our offense? And now we have this sophomore coming in that has to take that mantle up. And and Greg hit it on the nose. He never shied away from any of the moments that they needed him to step up in. And that's rare to see a guy that's trying to replace a guy that meant so much to that program just a year ago, and to say, hey, okay, I have big shoes to fill. Yes, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go not just fill the shoes. I'm going to put the shoes on and run up another mile past what Uriauchi did. And that's hard to do because I'm going to throw for 2,000 yards along with the running ability that I have. So I think it's really impressive. It's hard for young kids to do. Kind of reminds me of when Drew DeShields took over at West Branch, because you remember Brock Hilliard graduated, and a lot of people were like, well, Brock was so impressive. He went to college, played football. They didn't really know what Drew was going to bring into that. He wasn't a known commodity in football yet. Everyone knew him on the basketball court. So it was like, okay, what's Drew going to look like? And we all know what Drew did in his 2 years at West Branch before going on to Kent State. So it kind of reminds, like, sometimes when you get this guy that comes into the limelight a little bit and steps into the shadows of a really good player that came before him, you can see the footprints of the leadership that came a year ago. And I think Clark Rutledge is an example of that.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. To watch this young man, and I've seen him play since he was a puppy. I mean, you knew he was going to be special, especially in basketball. But to see him kind of spread his wings a little bit this football season, you didn't really know what was possible, but he developed weapons along the way, and every receiver on that roster became a tangible receiver. And a lot of credit goes to those receivers, but you think Tanner Morrow, RJ May, Braden Plum, when you think about some of these receivers that were, none of these guys really were household names, and now they are. Last year, we knew basically one player and one player alone. And now, because of the way that Clark Rutledge can play point guard, no pun intended, because that's what he does on the basketball floor, the way that he plays point guard behind the center and can make anybody a weapon is why East Palestine is going to be so dangerous for years to come, because they're going to get another wave of eighth graders becoming freshmen next year. They've got some big names on that team, including a Uriauchi, by the way, that will probably be a prime weapon for numero uno next year down at Reed Memorial Stadium. So I'm excited for what's to come. I think when you think about how we have to break down these awards, he wasn't a newcomer because he's a varsity letterman from last year. He did a lot on as a wideout, coincidentally, but there was another quarterback, and I know he's going to like this this kind of synergy. Another quarterback that I've known for a while, a guy named Ben Roethlisberger that started as a wide receiver and then made the adjustment over to quarterback, and it worked out pretty well for him. He's got a jersey that's hanging on my wall right now. So from that standpoint, I love what I'm seeing from Clark Rutledge. Deserves a lot of credit. I know he will pass that credit on to his offensive linemen, onto his backs, onto his receivers. But boy, oh boy, when it comes to why this season was so special, you can't go far without number one at the helm. So congratulations, Clark Rutledge. Preston Holbrook, your co-underdogs of the year here on YSN in its first year. Welcome, underdog of the year. We appreciate you. Here's the other thing, guys. As we switch over into, we're going to stick with football here for a moment. It was really interesting this weekend because I'm sitting there, and one of the few times I get to sit and watch football all day. And the first, I watched College Game Day, and Ernie Johnson was the picker. I don't know if you guys watched Game Day this past weekend. Mm-hmm. He had an interesting name come out of his mouth that I didn't think would ever happen in my lifetime. I would never see this. But Ernie Johnson, who is one of my favorite broadcasters of all time, without a doubt a Hall of Famer, he's picking the Georgia and Alabama game. But before they get to that game, they're talking about the Mid-American Conference. And there's a team in the Mid-American – well, there's a few teams in the Mid-American Conference that have YSN ties to them. But one of them is Western Michigan. And by God, didn't I hear Brock Lowry? It stopped me dead in my tracks. I'm sitting there, and I'm working, and I'm typing, and all of a sudden I hear Ernie Johnson say, hey, as long as they have Brock Lowry, I'm picking Western Michigan. I'm sorry. What? Did I just hear the Canfield state champion quarterback announced by Ernie Johnson, who's sitting next to my idol Pat McAfee on College Game? I couldn't believe it, guys. There's moments that I think we all kind of get so indulged into covering sports and covering athletes in our area that we don't think outside of our little bubble here that we'll ever hear those names called. And lo and behold, we did. And to follow that, I got to watch Brock Lowry play on ESPN, which was amazing, and win the Mid-American Conference MAC champions. Incredible. And he's a dog. He has not changed. He's only gotten stronger. He's only gotten better. And he's only a sophomore, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
Red shirt, I think. Red shirt sophomore.
Red shirt sophomores because he started at Indiana.
Yep.
I believe they redshirted him there. I could be off on this because we don't do the best job of following up because we've got a little bit of stuff to do here. But to see him play and the way he played, it was that, Greg, you saw it at the state championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're optioning him out. He's just being that brute force. And I swear the broadcaster said it, the announcer said it 18 times. He'll run through your face. And I was like, I love it. But let's go back to the well. Let's change it up a little bit. But to see these players, Anthony, you and I talked about Abby Emsch and her player of the week. Was it week or month?
Defensive player of the week in the final weekend for the ACC.
And then winning an ACC championship in her first year.
And now in the Sweet 16 after winning the first two tournament games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I the only one that thinks like I just get googly eyes whenever I see these players doing big things at the next level? Shane Lindstrom of South Range, part of that John Carroll team that beat Mount Union this past Saturday. Lindstrom, the only touchdown for John Carroll in that 10-7 double overtime victory. So when we're going out on a limb and saying, hey guys, our players our athletes, our student athletes are different. I don't think it's out on a limb. I think it's just matter of fact at this point. Greg, your take?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. We get to see these kids, at the high school level and see what they're able to do. And, in the moment, most of the time, we're like, kid's going to be special. I mean, I remember covering Canfield through their state championship run that year. I got to see all their games, got to talk to Mike Pavlansky on a weekly basis, and got to interview Brock a couple different times. And you see how special they are in the moment. And then when they go on to the next level, you see how you were kind of not gratified, but you see your thoughts kind of come to fruition a little bit when everyone else starts to notice the talent that's on the field, and Brock's starting to get that recognition now. And it's just awesome to see. I mean, it's really cool to see when you have kids at the high school level and you see them do special things and everything like that. And obviously at the high school level, everything's kind of like in a box unless you're one of the top programs in the country playing a national schedule and everything like that. And you get recognized on a local basis, and, local reporters get to see and recognize that talent. And then you see them go on and kind of have that success. It's really cool to see. I've had it, happen a couple different times throughout my professional career. I got to cover like Brock Purdy out in Arizona. Oh, he's now playing for the San Francisco 49ers, had a successful career at Iowa State. He's pretty solid. And it's just really cool to see. It's a really kind of special moment to just see the kids grow, have the success that they're, the work has built up to. And it's really, really special.
Anthony, you and I have been together for a lot of this. No secret for us to be sitting there patting our student athletes and our programs on the back, but there's something about the last couple of years that we've seen some very, 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 very special student athletes roll through some of the programs here under the YSN banner. What stands out to you whenever you see these players at the next level?
It's really fun because, like, for 4 years, we're the ones that believe in them and we're the ones that write all these stories about them. But then all of a sudden, when you hear them on ESPN or you get their game on ESPN and you hear their broadcasters shout out their name, it's like other people are starting to understand how special this athlete is. It's not just their hometown announcers and their hometown writers anymore saying, "Oh, this kid's good," because that I think every kid has a hometown broadcaster or announcer or writer that kind of gasses them up. But now all of a sudden it's like, hey, everyone kind of is understanding what we already knew. And that's real fun. Like when everyone kind of gets in on the joke a little bit, like, hey, we weren't kidding. Abby Inch is pretty special. Or, hey, we weren't kidding. Like Brock Lowry's pretty special. Now you're starting to figure it out. We weren't just blowing smoke. We get a lot of people say that YSN blows a lot of smoke. I don't know. There's a lot of fire.
We may, but the old adage is what? Where there's smoke, there's
fire.
And I will tell you who fire: our athletes, our student athletes, our coaches, are fire. And I'll sit there and I'll prop them up all day long because I believe, and we all, I mean, that's part of the gig is when we ask you to be part of the YSN team or you want to be part of the YSN team. Why do you want to do this? And it can't be about us. It has to be about you and them. And certainly it was very special. I mean, to be able to, it was kind of like lightning in a bottle there that particular last week as a whole, even into Saturday and Sunday. And then, ladies and gentlemen, there was this moment that happened last week over the weekend. I'm going to start this off by saying that we do not, what do we got here? What was the comment in?
Oh, it says so much talent within the YSN teams.
Sure is. Yes, there's this moment that happened over the weekend or last week, I guess, that caught everybody by surprise. And I'm not sure why. When you talk about Bo Brungard, understanding his demeanor, understanding his commitment, understanding his loyalty, understanding who he is, what he stands for, he's firmed up in his walk with Christ. He's firmed up in his leadership role wherever he goes. When he walks into a room, he's a dog. He's a leader. Yeah. And for him, there was a lot of people out there sitting there saying, oh, he's just going to leave. It's going to be, there was a lot of criticism, which we addressed last week as well, of Doug Phillips, and a lot of criticism of some of the players on the team. when everything is crumbling down around you as a leader, those are the biggest moments that you need to check your influence, to understand these are the moments that you lead from the front. And I will tell you, I was so impressed when I saw this, because he came out, it went straight through Youngstown State University, and basically Bo Brungard, a product of Springfield Local High School, as we all know, said, well, I'm staying here. I love it here. I'm going to finish out my senior year here because I committed to this program, and we're not done yet. I stood up and I started clapping. I was just so in a culture, in a era that is so about money, and I don't blame people for chasing dollars right now, because football and sports as a whole it's a vessel to get you to money, to get you to another level, whether it be in business, whether it be, announcing, whether it be, the professional level, whatever it may be. I don't blame student athletes, coaches, anybody for going after dollars, because when it comes to that, you only have one opportunity to a lot of this stuff. But in all that being said, there's still guys out there that say, listen, I'm a man of my word. I said I would be here. I'm going to be here, and we're going to finish the job that we started, or at least pass the baton. Hey, Bo Brungard, we love you. We're proud of you, buddy. Well freaking done. That's incredible. And when you saw this, what was your take about Bo Brungard staying at YSU?
Couple of things. When I don't know if you guys got a chance to hear his post-game interview after their their loss to Yale. That was a guy that knew there's still stuff to do. Like that was business not taken care of, and he felt like there was a lot left on the bone this season. He was very adamant that there was more to be done at YSU. So when I heard that, I was like, maybe he won't leave. I'm sure he's going to get offers, and I'm sure he did get offers. I'm sure there were a lot of people that were like, throwing some money at him to come get to their program, especially some mid-majors, group of 5 teams that want to find them their way into the playoffs and need a guy like that to come, give them that second level to do that. But when I heard his press conference after that loss, I was like, not only is this home for Bo Brungard, because obviously his family is a YSU stable, but this is also a kid that feels like there's more on this bone, and he feels like there's unfinished business with the way they lost that game to Yale. And I just felt like in his eyes and his words, I was like, there's no way he's leaving. And then he came and proved it. And it's hard, because I'm sure there are people in his circle that said, hey, man, go get that money. You earned it. And then his teammates, there were a couple of teammates that were really important this year, hit the transfer portal. So it was probably not necessarily easy to block out all the noise for him to say, hey, we're gonna stay loyal. We're gonna get this done at YSU. And that is a testament to Doug Phillips. That really is. I know there are a lot of people that called for his job, but when you have your quarterback who could have easily transferred stay, he must like something about the culture that you have in that locker room, or else he wouldn't. So that is a testament to Doug Phillips and his staff, in my opinion, as well.
100%. Greg, you've been probably our resident NIL expert since you arrived here on the scene. You've been around it the most. For you, did this come as a surprise to you with rumors and rumblings of $500,000 and Power 4 conferences reaching out to Bo Brungard, whether it was true or whether it wasn't? You're hearing everything. I'm hearing West Virginia. I'm hearing, schools out in the Big 12 reaching out to him. We don't know. Only Bo knows what was transpiring. And the fact that he doubled down here at YSU, what does it tell you?
I mean, the fact that teams are coming after him is no surprise. I mean, he's a special talent. I think, kind of like we saw with Brock Lowry and Drew DeShields, like we see these kids at the high school level have success and have a ton of success and see their special talent, and not everyone gets to see that. And obviously, everyone got to see how special Bo Brungard is. I mean, he's probably one of the greatest athletes to come through the Mahoning Valley in forever. So from the outside looking in, some might see this move as surprising. A guy who proved himself at the FCS level and gets an opportunity to probably go to a Power 4 school or something like that and turns it down. They might see that as surprising. But if you if you know Bo, if you've covered him, if you've talked to him, this move doesn't really come as a surprising move. I mean, he's a guy that's embedded in the Youngstown culture. He's embedded in the community, from Springfield local all the way here. His dad has a history at Youngstown State, his family, everything like that. It doesn't come as a surprise for some of us. But when you look at not just the player, but the person, not just his athletic achievements on the field, but what he does off the field and just who he is as a person, this doesn't come as a surprising move whatsoever. He's a special kid. I was talking to some of my friends this weekend, and he's just not your typical college athlete of this era. He's not out there to go after the money. Like he said in his post, it's about loyalty. It's about staying home and giving back to what YSU gave to him. I mean, this was a kid coming out of high school who probably didn't get a bunch of opportunities to play quarterback at the next level. I think a lot of teams saw him as more of a safety at the Power 4 level, but Youngstown gave him a chance to play quarterback in college, and he took it, and he's having the success that everyone thought he would, and now he's paying that loyalty back. And I wish nothing but the best for this kid. He's one of the best kids I've ever covered in the high school level. He's a great person. And so this announcement doesn't come as necessarily any type of surprise or anything like that. It's just who this kid is as a person. He's a great dude, and I wish him nothing but the best.
I'm on that bandwagon as well, man. I've been a fan of his since basically YSN was created, and chased him all over God's green earth because he's oftentimes the most exciting player on the field. But he's
100%.
On top of that, he's probably one of the greatest character kids, and we have a lot of them that you'll ever talk to, because he's been like that for such a long time. Obviously, a lot of that comes from his family, and being that guy that's always got the mic in his face. And just like with any other thing, you're able to do, repetition after repetition after repetition. But the thing is, he never really changed. He's always been this rock solid dude, from his character standpoint, from, his foundation, with his faith, and certainly what he does on the field. He makes a lot of the right decisions, of the right decisions. And I have to imagine that this right decision that was right for him, for his family, kept a lot of those Penguins in that locker room, because I feel like a lot of them were leaning towards perhaps, hey, if he goes, mass chaos.
Right.
Yeah.
But if the quarterback stays, if your top player stays, I think a lot of that foundation stays there. And that's something that I can't help but, and a lot of this is Monday morning quarterback stuff. When you hear these call-in shows and these guys have these incredible takes about, if we would have just left Bo Brungard as safety, like everybody else, we never would have lost that game but you never would have had some of the wins along the way to even be in that position to play against Yale. There's a lot of things that Bo Brungard did that no other quarterback could have done, especially in the locker room, right? He's special. This is a special era. Doug Phillips is a special coach. People can sit and nip and tuck all day about wins and losses. I had a conversation. Anthony, my favorite person in the world, whenever the Steelers lose on social media, Eric Hughes, we had a conversation yesterday after the Steelers won, because I was like, dude,
where's your post?
Where's your post? Like, you can't just crap on the Steelers whenever they lose, and then when they beat the Baltimore Ravens, where is it now? And it's just this, like, you're never happy unless they win a championship thing. And guys, we've talked about this before. Championships are so incredibly hard nowadays at every single level, because everybody plays sports year round. It is such a business. It is such a different animal than it was even 5 years ago, let alone 10, 20, 30 years ago. And these parents are trying to catch up to, okay, well, my kid played community ball, but this kid's been playing travel for 5 years. And then, Greg, the natural kind of selection takes over at some point in both boys and girls sports, and you just can't help it. That athleticism is athleticism is athleticism.
Yeah. 100%.
So from that standpoint, as I get my cup of coffee here in my my Frosty the Snowman mug, my question to you guys is this: as we head towards the home stretch of the show here today, is what players and what are the expectations on players, boys and girls, and coaches to go to the next level? I mean, are there ridiculous expectations? I mean, our families, our players, our coaches putting ridiculous, I say ridiculous with well intention, extra, I should probably say, putting extra pressure on themselves to get to the next level, to get to, a scholarship. Because at this point, scholarships are essentially null and void with NIL for the majority. But people are still chasing scholarships and NIL, which Greg, help me out here. I don't think that, I don't think they mix.
From my perspective, if you're a scholar, or if you're an athlete that believes you can play at the next level, the scholarship is the goal. The scholarship is the bottom line. Like, that's what you want to accomplish. That's what you want to get. You want to get your free education. You want to go to the next level. You want to prove you want to bring all of the hard work that you put in through from your young age all the way up through middle school to high school. You want to make that count. Scholarship is the goal. NIL is for, obviously it's part of the game now in college athletics, but I think that's where the extra comes in. I mean, if a school really wants you, they're gonna dole out that money for you and everything. Like, they're gonna go to that extra level for you. But I mean, as far as what it takes to get to the next level, DJs, as far as what it takes to become a college athlete, I mean, at this point in this era of college athletics, to get to that next level, you have to love what you do. You have to love the sport that you play on a consistent basis, where all that extra work that you put in doesn't feel like extra work. It just feels like part of your grind. You have to love, going to the gym at 6 a.m. and putting up 500 shots before practice even starts the next day, or staying after and shooting 500 free throws or something like that. You have to love the grind to get to the next level. Like, that's what it takes to have success at the college, collegiate level these days. And so you got to love what you do. I mean, it's like any of us. Like, I mean, I got into journalism because it doesn't feel like work for me. Like, I could work a 12-hour day and it doesn't feel like work. Like, that's why I got into it. I didn't want to sit behind a desk at a 9 to 5 and absolutely hate going to work every day. I wanted to love what I do, and I've gotten the opportunity to do that throughout the course of my career. And I think for athletes, it's the same thing. I mean, you've seen, I can't remember who they were off the top of my head, but you've seen professional athletes like come out before. I think like it was either T.O. or Chad Johnson who said they didn't even like football, or maybe it was Des Bryant, I can't remember, who didn't even like football. They just played the game because of the benefits of it. I think today, like, to get to that next level, obviously you have to have athleticism and everything like that. But one of my coaches in high school had one of the best sayings is, like, I think it's work will beat talent when talent doesn't work hard, or something like that. And that's what you got to do to succeed at the next level. You have to have the talent, but you also have to put in the work to get to that next level. And I think that's what it takes to be successful these days.
I'm oftentimes reminded of the Build-A-Burger. I don't know if you guys had this kind of like growing up in the high schools. Is your foundation is like the burger, and then you have your toppings are, okay, I'm going to play baseball, I'm going to do this, all your extracurriculars. So I guess my comparison is, I think a lot of the parents and players now are getting the burger mixed up with the toppings. I think the foundational aspect needs to be your school, where you're going to school, why you like to go to school there at the next level, and also the scholarships fit in there, because a lot of people are flipping NIL and scholarships and thinking they're one of the same, and they're not. I see the NIL as kind of like the cheese or the tomato, which you can have it or you don't. But you can always build that on later onto your order. Whereas you have to have the whys. Why do I want to be here? What am I trying to do? Things that even myself, looking back 20 plus years, I didn't have that. It was, I'm going to school because I want to play baseball. I want to continue to play baseball. And then you kind of fall into, oh, wait a minute, this is pretty cool that I'm doing this broadcasting thing. And it doesn't hurt as bad necessarily the next day when I do it. Anthony, for you, do you feel like that some of the parents and student athletes are getting things flipped around because they see dollar signs coming to other players or other people and not necessarily understanding how the burger is built?
Travel sports is more expensive than it's ever been. And these parents are putting a lot of money, travel, sacrifices into, hey, let's go do JL volleyball. Let's go do AAU basketball. Let's go do travel softball, baseball. Because they're hoping that will end up being a scholarship or NIL money on the other end. And it'll save the money down the road. And then when that doesn't happen, there's a lot of pressure on that athlete to be like, hey, I gotta make up for what my parents are sacrificing to get me to this level. And that's not always guaranteed. I'm sure there's a lot of parents that have poured a lot of money into travel, and then the kid, because they've played so much, I don't really want to play in college anymore. I'm kind of gassed out. I've lost my passion for the sport. And then you go, oops, now we still have to pay for college because we don't have a scholarship to lean back on. And oops, we're going to be in a lot of debt because we poured a lot of money into travel, and now we have to pour a lot of money into college. It's a financial burden, and you get yourself into those holes by not realizing priorities first.
And I think one of the big topics that nobody talks about nowadays, we've talked about, almost beat the horse to death, is nobody's out there educating these families about how this goes. They're kind of learning on their own and asking ChatGPT and Google, and they're asking Siri and Alexa and all these people. She likes to listen whenever she shouldn't. But it's one of those. It's one of those things. Like there's people that think coaches are supposed to get them put into colleges and get them scholarships, and that's just. I mean, your coach has 3 kids of his own or her own, and she's trying to get herself, from day to day, as opposed to getting your kid, seen by. Now, some coaches will. There are coaches out there that will have those connections, those relationships, and can do that. But there's a firm reality that I think some parents never see until it smacks them dead in the nose, and it's D1 is not an option. And that is not a funeral. That is just, hey, there's a D2 out there. There's a D3 out there. There's JUCO. There's NAIA. There's all these other options. And it's almost like an ego. What's the word I'm looking for? Deflation, right? Well, I'm not. My kid's D1. I did, to your point, Ant, my kid did pitching lessons for the last 12 years. I dumped $10,000 a year into this. He's going to, nope. That doesn't mean jack crap about where your kid's going to go.
Yeah.
My favorite saying, $500 bat does not fix a $50 swing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's nice stuff.
I think like with NIL and like the transfer portal, especially, and everything like that too, like it's made it that much harder for high school kids to get scholarships at the Division I level, like the Power 5 level, because you have schools just kind of dumping into the transfer portal to get kids from the FCS level or Division II or the NAIA. Like, so obviously, growing up, Division I, Power 5, that's always the goal. But I think the bar has somewhat changed a little bit to where, all right, if you're not going to get a Power 5 level, it's not Power 5 level scholarship. It's not bad to go to a Division II, a Division III, junior college, get a full scholarship where you'll play, prove yourself, and then go to the next level. I mean, and I'm not bringing this up because I'm a Bills fan. I'm bringing it up because I saw the interview today to where Josh Allen I saw it on like TikTok, Josh Allen talking about how he had 0 college offers out of high school, 0 preferred walk-ons. He didn't want his parents to pay for his college. So he went to junior college, balled out, got a full scholarship to Wyoming, and now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, that's the route some people have to take. You have to go to the next level. You have to go Division III, Division II, NAIA, FCS. You have to prove yourself. and then go on to the next level. And sometimes it can work backwards too. I mean, look at Brock Lowry. He went to Indiana, ends up at Western Michigan, and now he's winning a MAC championship after winning a state title at Canfield. I mean, it's just the bar is not the same for everyone. Like the goal shouldn't be the same for everyone. You can go Division III, go Division II, have success, and then take the next step from there. Go somewhere, prove yourself, and then get that next opportunity.
Well, and I think people get mixed up with, if you go to Division I, the chances of you being drafted or being professional increase. And I don't think that's ever been a correlation. No. In fact, I think if you go there and you're the 16th string shortstop, you got no shot. I mean, zero. You get to put it on your resume that you went to the University of blank, but when you inevitably jump into that transfer portal, that's all you have. There's no tape on you. There's no anything to help you. You're back in the situation that you were as a high school senior, with just a year under your belt. I think, Greg, and you mentioned Brock Lowry. You mentioned, I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. Oh, Josh Allen. I mean, Kurt Warner, Tom Brady. I mean, you can go up and down that list of great NFL players that had to go through it. And Anthony, we've talked about this before. Adversity in these situations make you stronger, make you better, make you more determined, because you're out there with that chip on your shoulder and you're going to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever given anything in this era. Like, I mean, no matter if you're an athlete, no matter if you're going into a career or something like that, like you always got to prove yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing is getting the opportunity to prove yourself on the field, on the baseball diamond, on the court, on the mat. That's the opportunity that you want to seek out to prove yourself when no one believes in you.
I heard I was listening to watching some motivational videos, and I heard something about Kobe Bryant was talking about the very limited offers that he received to go to college, which is why he went into the NBA draft. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Like, not Kobe. Like, what?
Now, I wonder how many of those were like, okay, we're not going to get him because he's going to the NBA, so we're not even going to waste our time with an offer.
I thought of that, but I'm still like, I mean, you still got to shoot your shot, right? Like,
that was back before NIL, so we couldn't throw money at him. It's like, hey, do you want to come not get paid at all and struggle to get McDonald's for,
I think Kobe Bryant would be all right. Like North Carolina, Duke, hey, buddy. I mean,
although they'd find ways to get him money. If
he's from Philly, right? So
Lower Merion.
Yeah, you think about some of the great Pennsylvania schools over there that are known for basketball. I don't know, Villanova. They're pretty okay at hoops. But my point is, and I think we all, the three of us, even when you look at our professional careers, there's a lot of, hey, you're not good enough. And determination is what's going to get you over that hump. So for all the kids that are sitting there seeing us as crapping on their dreams of being D1, that's not what we're doing. We're just telling you there's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to – don't skin cats. But there's more than one way to accomplish your dreams, and it doesn't have to be necessarily the cleanest route, which is what people think are Division I, which is the only option. It's not. It's absolutely not. Get yourself out there, get some reps. Put yourself, shoot your shot. I mean, go out to a D1 and see if they go to the freaking coaching camps and player camps, though. Like, let's not, some of these places are getting you all wrapped up and tied up in thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because they have networking. I can tell you there's more misses than hits in that situation. They're not going to tell you that, obviously, because they're a business, but they're going to put your little Twitter bio out there, and you're going to get all excited and all geeked up because of how many followers they have. Greg, how many views did you have of that one particular picture over the weekend?
The Cardinal Mooney one?
Yeah.
It was like 45,000, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. We get clicks too. And I'm not saying we're going to, like, it doesn't, hey, last time I checked, the three of us have never put a rocket in the air. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that sports is a popular thing, and clicks doesn't equal D1 scholarships. It just, hey, somebody's interested in that. So The last thing I wanted to talk about real quick, if you can, Greg. Oh, you out.
Yeah,
You're
I got a couple minutes.
okay. Last thing, I promise you can get out of here. Your first opportunity with Hoops at Noon on Friday.
Yeah.
You were there for Lisbon and Liberty. Your takeaways from it, because I love hearing everybody's first time through.
So, I mean, just like high school football, like high school basketball holds a special place in my heart because it's nothing. There's nothing to compare when you're in a gym. Like if you go to like a high school football game, it's obviously open air, everything like that, huge crowds. It can get loud. When you're in a high school gym, you got a student section on one side, student section on the other side, parents, kids, all sorts of stuff. It can be a special atmosphere. It can be a very special atmosphere. I was at Lisbon on Friday. I was trying to talk to Gary on one of the baselines, and I was like, I can't hear you. Like I'm like leaning in like right next to his ear trying to hear what he's saying. It was a very cool atmosphere. First time I'd ever been to Lisbon Gym. Obviously they had they turn all the lights off for the introductions and everything, which is always cool to see. It was really cool. And then I was just about to get to that. And then they have the announcer. We're 5 points away from the magic number. We're 2 points away from the magic number. It hits and everyone goes crazy. And you've seen, like, I think throughout this year with the basketball games, you've seen like the college highlights where they have like the kids' days and everything like that. And all the kids go crazy. It was just as good at Lisbon on Friday when Lisbon hit 67 points. And Chris, I can't remember his last name. Huxhold gives the 6-7.
He knew the assignment.
he knew what it was all about. He was smiling while he was doing it. And at the end, he goes, I had to do it. So it was awesome. And it was just as good at Cardinal Mooney Boardman too on Friday. 2 electric student sections going crazy. The gym was loud. But it was pretty cool. Like I texted you guys on Thursday and I was like, is this game really at noon on Friday? Like if it is, I'm going. And I didn't expect the atmosphere that I was going to get when I got there. It was loud. It was awesome. They had a whole bunch of between quarter activities and races with blow up suits and everything like that. It was cool. It was fun to see.
And you've been a part of these and you've been able to watch these. I mean, to me, Hoops at Noon is one of the most magical things that you can do in a basketball program, especially here in Northeast Ohio, to get kids involved, to get them interested, to where otherwise they might not even see the team play that particular year. What did you take away from Friday's first Hoops at Noon in 2025?
Well, one, having Gary and Greg in the same plot in the same place at the same time, I thought like the streams might cross and we might be in trouble. But then, like, it's just great for the school. Like you said, there are so many kids that might not go to see a basketball game if it's not at noon, and now they're there, and the atmosphere is great. It's back to like what high school sports should be. There's some schools that don't get necessarily the atmosphere that they should on a Friday night. So you make it Friday at noon. It's a community thing, and the kids are there. Like it kind of takes me back to when I was in elementary school going to basketball games. It's like that was the feeling of it. You look around, all your friends are there. You're running around the hallways during timeouts, playing football. Whatever it takes you back. It's nostalgic to see high school basketball get the atmosphere that it kind of used to have a little bit.
I agree wholeheartedly. We are going to bid adieu to our dear friend, the professor, Mr. Greg McAfee. Another great performance here today, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for bringing me in, guys. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you like always. See you later.
Get it done. Let them know John Carroll in 6'7". Ladies and gentlemen, the professor, Greg McAfee. Dude, Hoops at Noon, electric. Just absolutely electric. I can't say this enough. I'm going to throw a word out there. I don't know if this is the right veracity. Do we know what that word means?
I think that's, sounds right.
Hey, we're going with it. Hey, we're swinging it. We're big swing. I cannot tell you how much you can do with a Hoops at Noon situation. And I'm talking to the big schools as well. From a small school standpoint, man, it is, I'm almost borderline like have to do it. Do one for the boys, one for the girls. Find a school that'll pair up with you. Flip it, right? So Liberty and Lisbon, the girls play at Liberty this year. The boys obviously just played at Lisbon. Flip it, get a trophy, make it important. It helps us get out there because it's a special thing. So you're guaranteed to get a YSN at noon. There's no reason not to. And then let's go. Like, make it about the kids. Get the administration involved. Get the kids that don't play involved, because that's just as important to make them feel like they're part of the district, part of the team, part of the program. And then you can do some of your stuff, singing the alma mater, which I thought was incredible after the game that Lisbon did, raising the trophy, and then the entire student body sang the alma mater. That's important because everybody wants to, every administrator wants you to learn the alma mater before you graduate. And again, cannot speak highly enough about how Lisbon and Liberty have gone about it. So to the Liberty and Lisbon administrations, incredible job. Todd Smith, Kyle Bing, the athletic directors. Ryan Snyder was an absolute weapon on the microphone doing PA work, and he's the right guy for it. And he's been a longtime friend of the program, as well as personally. So Ryan Snides, appreciate you, man. You did a great job. You kept the kids entertained. And dude, he kept talking about magic number, and I'm like, what is he talking about? And I looked up the scoreboard, and he goes, 2 more, and it said 65. Like, oh, no. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. He's going to do it. And then Hucky's down there doing 6, and then Greg got him doing it. See, I'm glad he did. Because I'm glad we had Gary. We crossed the streams a little bit, because if we hadn't, we never would have had that moment with Hucky doing 6-7, especially the way that Greg does it. I don't know how he does it. He's a magician with the camera, but this little, like, what, stop reel,
stop
I guess.
Motion, yeah, stop motion kind of thing.
It was hilarious, and we got the kid from Girard doing the flip. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's the next thing. Like I told Greg, that's our thing. Yeah. Do more of that. And we're not going to always hit a home run. Sometimes it'll be a triple, a double, or a single. But boy, was that. See ya, ball. But yeah, overall, great experience. We will have wrestling at noon this Friday, live.
Let's go.
From Liberty High School. Rob Johnson will be with me. We will have the full production. They're having a very, very special wrestling at noon. This has never been done before that we know of. Gary said they used to do like assembly ones, but I think it's different. It's a little bit different. The entire school of Liberty will be there. So as you guys were talking about on Wrestling Wednesday, and I would hope that you would talking about it, kind of bring it up again. Boy, good luck, Lakeview, because I mean, it's going to be a heelish moment for all the Bulldogs over there who are just getting their program started to try to get going. I believe the old, and I don't want to say this with certainty, but it was explained to me, and I hope I'm getting this right. One of the old Liberty coaches is kind of leading the charge over at Lakeview to get their program up and going, which if that's the case, awesome. Because as I continue to appreciate the passion that Chris Colucci and Gary Altizer have for the sport of wrestling, it takes a village, and wrestling coaches, much like cross country and track, they will work together to get the sport more recognition. And I love it. I love it every step of the way. Cannot wait. And I don't know a damn thing about wrestling, but I am so excited for Friday just to be in that atmosphere. So most likely I will just be in a point guard position of just throwing over to whoever is my color announcer and saying, oh, okay, you didn't bring in a steel chair yet. And you're going to hear that joke about 900 times. Maybe I'll wear the belt. Maybe I'll wear the vest, the old Stone Cold vest.
Austin 316.
It's right behind me. I got the Rock hoodie on. Maybe I'll just wearing it today. We'll throw it in the wash. We'll get it going.
Throw it in the wash. It'll be fine for Friday. We're seeing more basketball and now wrestling at noon than last year, and hopefully next year we see even more and people catch on to the trend. because it's successful. It's a home run every time. I don't think
I love it, dude.
I don't think you can mess it up. Like you have the whole school there, everyone's going to be into it.
Let's not.
You could mess it up, but it would be
You
hard.
could mess it up real bad if you really wanted to.
It'd be hard. I think you'd have to try. You have to make a conscious effort.
Well, I think what Liberty and Lisbon learned from year 1 to year 2 was student involvement has to be at a high.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Anthony, there was a half-court buzzer beater shot that was drilled. I mean, I went bananas. That was second loudest pop of the night. Can you take a wild stab at what was the biggest pop of the night? And it wasn't 6-7.
It wasn't 6-7. It wasn't a half-court buzzer beater.
And this is pure genius on whoever did this, which I'm going to give credit to Ryan Snyder, but there might be someone else behind the scenes.
You got to give it to me.
Dude, they played SpongeBob SquarePants, and that
God.
place just like a Christmas tree, just lit up so loud because they turned it off. They just started it. It was just like 99 bottles of you-know-what on the wall,
Right.
and they just cranked it down.
No, we're finishing this.
The kids finished it. They didn't. I mean, the game was happening, and you heard SpongeBob SquarePants was going nuts, and I was like, okay, whoever did that, brilliant. Like 101, perfect execution. Like just getting that gym loud, keeping the kids involved. Again, the excitement in my voice, you can't fake that. It was awesome. Lisbon and Liberty did it again. I'm so looking forward to wrestling at noon this Friday. And then I believe the new year is when we have to wait till Hoops at Noon for the girls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they'll be at Liberty.
It'll be at Liberty. We'll be there. Don't worry.
I think
I'm sure
Campbell's
Liberty
doing one pretty soon. I think Campbell and Sebring are getting together this year for Hoops at Noon.
Let's go. I'm absolutely Soup City. He's up there. Is that what he said?
Suplex City.
Suplex City. Two different places, Suplex City and Soup City. So yeah, we'll talk about Suplex City on Friday. I'm excited for it. Bob Burek, we love you. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see you very, very soon. But I'll tell you what, man, it was a great weekend in sports. Great week last week in sports. We couldn't touch them all today, but we will certainly work to be better tomorrow. Anthony, you and I will try to again bring people back to hoops, to winter, and then of course you and Gary on Wednesday will get the lowdown, and then we will return to action together, tag team it up on Thursday to finish out the week, and then one more week before we take a nice little break, pal.
Christmas is coming.
I will be out Monday, just letting you know. Any prayers and thoughts would be welcome because my first quote unquote major surgery. I will be getting it. In case you don't know, I've been having issues with my eyes lately. So I'm going to get a what I'm being told is a pretty easy procedure, but it's also terrifying when people are touching your eyes. So any thoughts and prayers? I will be out Monday. I don't know how long I'll be out for. I'm going to try to make that triumphant return on Tuesday. I might be in some sweet glasses, but the idea is I'll be able to see. So if you're wondering why I haven't been at more games, I can't freaking see. So, look out on the roadways, baby. The Cyclops is out there. I almost went a different route. That could have gone real bad. Real bad. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric. What's Your Spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and just like YSN, they are available to you 24/7, 365 on the web at DickeyElectric.com. Ronaldo, what is your spark today, my friend?
So real quick, PSA out there, if you're wanting to comment on our posts on social media, you can come after us. You can criticize us all you want. We'll take. If I see insults or degraded or anything like that coming after student athletes, that is a good way to get deleted and immediately blocked. And I had to do that over the weekend. So let's not do that. Let's keep it away from the kids out there. So if you want to be blocked from YSN, that's a good way to do it.
Here's the other thing on top of that, not to piggyback on your Spark, but we know it was a fake profile and we know who owns the fake profile. So there's that.
Do it with your real profile if you're feeling real froggy out there.
I mean, hey, listen, or you could just be a person of character and not do it. I mean, you got those keyboard muscles. That's fine. But we know who it was, and I'm very disappointed. I will say that, very, very disappointed in finding out who felt the need to put somebody else down to prop themselves up, because they didn't really need to. They were pretty propped up in general. But all of that being said, I want to give again, I know I'm really going into this, but I want to give a shout out to the people who continue to push the envelope to make kids better, to make student athletes better, to make coaches better, to make programs better. I want to give a shout out to the athletic directors because, man alive, since COVID, their job has been an absolute nightmare. And they keep wearing more hats and doing more things, and the expectations are never going to go back to what it was. It's only going to get more extravagant as the years go along. And boy, when you're talking about extravagant, I cannot even start to tell you how excited I am for Columbiana and the electric production show that they put on in their gym now. Dude, you saw it, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's bonkers. It is absolute madness. And I am so excited. Those kids, I hope they appreciate I know I talked to Todd Johnson about, what it entails. And he said that they're running a media, like a class to do that, which they'll be able to understand not just the ins and outs of the production side of it, but the technology side of it, how it generates. I mean, you can almost do a case study of how it makes you feel right out of the gates. So I'm excited. I think more teams are going to start doing stuff like that. The production value is only going to go up from here. I think we're seeing a metamorphosis. How'd you like that one? Of technology being infused right into high school and youth sports. And I like knowing that we have a front seat for all of it. And maybe we're a reason for it. And I'm okay with that. Good job, athletic directors, especially Aaron over in Columbiana. Awesome job. That's how you put your students first. And that's the difference in a lot of these conversations around open enrollment. Just
we need to invest in the kids. That's an investment.
Invest in the kids. That's going to do it for our show today. Anthony, thanks for going overtime with me. Appreciate you. And as always, we appreciate Mr. Greg McAfee for stopping by and maybe a couple minutes overtime with us. We're going to be better tomorrow. I can promise you that. And then Wednesday, I'm not here, so it's going to be way better with Wrestling Wednesday with Gary Altizer, because you got Anthony, who makes sense, has cognitive thoughts, and runs point guard better than anybody we know. Running point. 6'7". Like we always say, Anthony, may the sports be with you, pal.
And you, my friend.
See if we have an outro. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.